Hello everyone, how are you? Welcome to the English Quest Academy. I hope you must be fine and you must have watched my first video in which I have explained the about the writer, about the theme, about the narrative style and the short summary of the story, the last lesson. Now today we are going to explain word by word and line by line explanation of the story and the meaning of the words with in which context these words have been used in the story. So let us begin without making any more delay. So the story has been narrated by a small boy named Prince, as I have told you in the summary. So the first paragraph, I started for school very late that morning and was in great dread of a scolding, especially because Mr. Hamill had said that he would question us on participles, and I did not know the first word about them. The friends was telling us that on that day he started for the school very late because he did not completed his homework, and Mr. Hamill was about to ask us about the rules of participles, and he did not know the single word of participle. In great dread of means in great fear of. Scolding means being scolded by anyone for doing any wrong thing. Next paragraph. For a moment, I thought of running away and spending the day out of doors. It was so warm, so bright. The birds were chirping at the edge of the woods, and in the open field back of the sawmill, the Prussian soldiers were drilling. It was all much more tempting than the rule for participles, but I had the strength to resist and hurried to the school. Now he's telling us that for a moment I thought to spend my day from running uh, for for running away from the school, spend my day outdoors because he was always late for the school and he was not ready for studies every time. It was so warm and sunny day, bright day in those countries when it is a sunny day. It is considered the pleasant day and a very good day. So that's why it was a very bright sunny day and birds were chirping. He was describing the scene. The birds were chirping at the edge of the woods, and the squirrels were playing on the trees. And the open field in the open fields back at the sawmills where woods are cut. In a factory where woods are cut, that is called sawmill. Prussian soldiers were drilling. Drilling means march past of the soldiers at the back of the sawmill. It was all much more tempting. So it was much more attracting, and it was much more enough for him to be tempted to be outdoors and not going to for the school because all these things are much more tempting than the participles. But he collected all his strength to resist. Resist means to be away from the thought, to resist himself from the thought of being outdoors, and he hurried off and he went quickly to the school. When I passed the town hall, there was a crowd in front of the bulletin board. For the last 2 years, all our bad news had come from there. The lost battles, the draft, the orders of the commanding officer. And I thought to myself, without stopping, what can be the matter now? Now, bulletin board is a notice board for putting up the latest news and the communication, as you all know. And friends walked past that town hall for going to the school. He noticed a huge crowd at the notice board. The war with Prussia had begun before 2.5 years ago. The war had been started 2.5 years ago, and for 2 years, all bad news about the war and about all these things had been coming through this notice board, and losing the battle, occupation of Alsace and Lorraine by the enemy, Prussia, etc., had been communicated to the people through the bulletin board. Franz kept on walking towards the Franz did not stop there. He kept on walking towards the school, and he thought in his mind while walking to the school that what news could have been put up at the bulletin board now? What it could be now on the bulletin board? Then, as I hurried by the fast, as I hurried by as fast as I could go, the blacksmith watcher who was there with his apprentice. Apprentice means the pupil, the newcomer who is learning under his master something. Apprentice is that thing. Apprentice means the trainee of a master. So blacksmith was standing there with his apprentice. As he was hurriedly going to the school, that blacksmith remarked on him. Reading the bulletin, called after me. He was standing there reading the bulletin board, and he called after me. He, mm, uh, don't go so fast, Bub. You will get to your school in plenty of time. He, he satire on, he commented on that boy because daily he saw that boy going like this hurriedly to the school, getting very late for the school and running towards the school. So he commented on that boy satirically that there is plenty of time, you will reach to the school in no time. So I thought he was making fun of me, so he thought that whether he was making fun of me or and reached Mr. Hamel little garden all out of breath. And without taking a breath, I reached to the garden of Mr. Hamel. Outside the school, in the starting of the school, there was a garden of Mr. Hamel because in those days, teachers used to live in the school only, and they have their house, their residence also in the school. So he reached to the garden of Mr. Hamel hurriedly. Usually, when school began, there was a great bustle, which could be heard out in the street. The opening and closing of desk lessons repeated in unison, very loud, with our hands over our ears to understand better, and the teacher's great ruler rapping on the table. So when he reached to the school, I told you earlier that there was a strange silence in the school. There was not any hustle and bustle of the daily routine. The students learning their lessons in unison means all together. When we learn any table or any poetry all together, that is called unison. And they were keeping their hands on their ears so that outside noise they could not here, and they could learn their lesson in a very better manner. So, and tapping of the ruler on the table, no noise was heard. There was a strange silence in the school, but now it was all so still. I had counted on the commotion to get to my desk without being seen. But of course, that day everything had to be as quiet as the Sunday morning. He thought that during that commotion, he would be able to enter the class without being seen by anyone, and he would go and sit at his seat. Mm, But there was a silence like a Sunday morning. Everybody was silent, everything was silent and quiet on that day, like a Sunday morning. Through the window, I saw my classmates already in their places, and Mr. Hamel walking up and down with his terrible iron ruler under his arm. When I saw through the window into my class, I saw that all my classmates were at their places already settled down, and Mr. Hamel was walking up and down in the class with his iron ruler under his arm. And I had to open the door and go in before everybody. You can imagine how I blushed and how frightened I was. Now, in that silent atmosphere, he had to enter into the class, and Franz was ashamed of being late and feared of being scolded by Mr. Hamill that he had to enter the class in front of everyone. And but nothing happened but as he expected that Mr. Hamill would scold him for coming late, but nothing happened. Mr. Hamill saw me and said very kindly. Mr. Hamill saw me and reacted very kindly. Go to your place quickly, little friends. We were beginning without you. He said to me very kindly. I was surprised to see the reaction that he didn't scold me and kindly told me to take my seat and told me that they were starting the lesson without me. His, it was very strange for him. I jumped over the bench and sat down at my desk. Now, till then, when I had got a little over my fright, did I see that our teacher had on his beautiful green coat, his frilled shirt, and the little black silk cap, all embroidered, that he never wore except on the inspections and prize days. Now, when he got his breath again returned to him, now when he became a little normal because of his fear, because he was feared of being scolded. When he became normal, then he could uh, observe that on that day, their teacher was wearing a very fine dress which he used to wear on the days of inspection and prize distribution days. He was wearing a very beautiful green coat and his frilled shirt and his little black silk cap and embroidered all this beautiful dress he was wearing. Felt that the atmosphere in the school was unusual and serious. But friends felt that the atmosphere of the school was unusual and is serious. To add to it, the last benches of the classroom were occupied by the senior village man, Hauser, who was wearing his three-cornered hat, the retired mayor and postman, etc. Now he one more thing he observed that one thing he observed that the atmosphere of the school was not normal, it was unusual. And the another thing he observed that everybody looked very sad and at the on the last benches all the old people of the village were sitting, all the retired people, postmen, hawser and all they were wearing their mm, normal dresses like that. Everybody was looking sad. Hauser had brought an old primer. Primer means the book with alphabets and tables and all numbers and all. That primer. So primary things were there in the book. That is called primer. And basic reader book for the students. Thumbed at the edges, it was torn at the edges, means किनारों से फटी हुई थी वो book, and he held it open on his knees. That book was held open on his knees, अपनी knees पर खोल के बैठा हुआ था वो. He was sitting with his great spectacles. He was wearing his great spectacles lying across the pages. Yeah. And he was wearing spectacles because he was an old man, and all these old men were sitting. So he was surprised to see that why these old men were sitting at the last benches, who usually not come to school, did not come to school daily. So it was a surprise for him also. While I was wondering about it all, Mr. Hamill mounted his chair and, in the same grave and gentle tone which he had used to me, said, Miss Children, my children, this is the last lesson I shall give you. The order has come from Berlin to teach only German in the schools of Alsace and Lorraine. The new master comes tomorrow. This is your last French lesson. I want you to be very attentive. Now, gentle, grave means serious tone. Franz was confused and could not figure out what was happening that day. Just when Mr. Hamel told them that it was their last lesson in the French language, and as the Prussians in Berlin had ordered that French language would not be taught in the schools of Alsace and Lorraine, and that German language be taught instead. The German teacher would arrive the next day, and as this was the last lesson, he wanted them to be very much attentive. What a thunderclap these words were to me. No, these words were like a blow, like a thunderclap on friends. Oh, wretches. That was what had put up at the town hall. Now he understood what was there on the bulletin board and why those people were gathered around the bulletin board. Now he understood the thing that was the bad news on that notice board. My last lesson in French, why? Hardly I knew how to write. I should never learn anymore. I must stop there. There, oh, how sorry I was for not learning my lessons. My seeking birds' eggs or going sliding on the Saar, a river which passes through France. Franz regretted for not being so much serious about his studies, and he is regretting for not taking his studies very seriously. And now he understood that what had happened, he is not able even to speak a single word or single sentence in French, and not able to write a single sentence in French. My books that had seemed such a nuisance a while ago, so heavy to carry, my grammar and my history of the lessons were old friends now. I could give up. Now, which books seemed to him so heavy to carry, seemed to him a burden for him, burden to him to carry. Now these books are seemed to him like an old friend which he has to leave. Till now, friends considered his books to be so heavy to carry, and they seemed to him like a burden. But suddenly he starts considering them to be his best friend. You know, books are the best friends of anyone, and whom he could never leave. These books seemed to him like an old friends which no one can leave so easily. The writer wants to show the change in Fran's attitude towards study after hearing the news that he could no longer learn his own mother tongue. Now, what a change in attitude! See, children, what a change in our attitude according to the situation. We take the things for granted and we think that we'll do it later, we'll do it tomorrow, but tomorrow never happens, and nobody can say that what will happen tomorrow. So, this is the feeling, exactly, this is the feeling of friends at this time, and Mr. Hamill too. With people, we think that these people are not very good to us, these people are not behaving good to us, these are crazy, these are not good people. And suddenly we change our attitude towards those people like this, like Mr. Like friends. Now, Mr. Hamill, too, the idea that he was going away, when he listens, when he hears that Mr. Hamill was going away, that I should never see him again, that I am not able to see him again in my life, made me forget all about the rulers and the cranky, how much cranky he was. Now he forget all the rulers, all the scolding and all the punishments which Mr. Hamill would give to him, and he started thinking that he will never be able to see him again. So poor man, it was in honor of this last lesson that he had put on his fine Sunday clothes. Now he understood why he had put on his fine Sunday clothes, and now I understood why the old man of the village were sitting there in the back of the room. Now he understood all the story, all the things, all the situation, why the strange silence was there, why the teacher was wearing fine dress, and why these people, old people, were sitting at the back benches of the class. Now it was because they were sorry too. They were sorry for not coming to the school daily, that they had not gone to the school more. It was their way of thanking, and they came to thank of their teacher. They came to pay their respect for their teacher who had been teaching them for the last 40 years, who had been serving the school for the last 40 years for the country, and his services for the country. So now he understood all the story, all the now he understood the reason for all these things which was going on in the school on that. So let's move ahead. While I was thinking of all this, I heard my name called. It was my turn to recite. What would I not have given to be able to say that dreadful rule for participants all through very loud and clear and without one mistake? You know, now it was the turn of Mr. Of friends to say aloud the rules of participant. As the news had impacted friends, he was eager to study, and so he was desperate to show his eagerness. He wanted to be able to recite the topic in one go, and without any mistake, and please his teacher. He wanted to please his teacher, and he wanted to say the rules of participles without any mistake in one go. His description is reflected in his willingness and to give away all that he had in return for reciting the lessons well. But I go mixed up the first verse. But because he did not learn the lesson and he did not pay attention to his studies, he did not pay attention to the teacher and to his class, the consequences are of according to his efforts. Children, consequences are always according to our efforts. Whatever we have put in, whatever we have fed in the computer, it will show the results according to that feeding. So, if we want to have good results, we have to feed good things, we have to make good efforts in our life. So, he was mixed up in the first word and stood there holding to his desk. My heart beating, his heart was beating. He was ashamed of not uh, telling the rules of participants in the class. I heard Mr. Hamill. He thought that Mr. Hamill would scold him for this, Mr. Hamill would punish him for this, but uh, it was not so on that day because things were changed, totally changed on that day. So I heard Mr. Hamill say to me, I won't scold you, little friends. You must feel bad enough. You yourself must feel bad enough for this, for not giving much time to your studies. See how it is. Now he is making understand to the children and to friends that see how it is. Every day we have said to ourselves, "Bah, I have plenty of time." Every day we take the things for granted. Everything we think that we have plenty of time. I will learn tomorrow, and now you see what we have come out. Now you see what happened. And the opportunity to study had ended, and he knew nothing. Ah, that's the great trouble with Alsace. She puts off learning till tomorrow now. Those follows, those fellows out there will have the right to say to you now, those fellows who are drilling outside and uh, who have got victory over us, they will say to you, they will tell to you what you have to do and how it is you pretend to be now. See the condition that you pretend to be Frenchman, and yet you can neither speak nor write your own language. You say that you are Frenchman and you can neither speak nor write your own language, but you are not worse poor. Little friends, we have all a great deal to reproach on ourselves. Now the teacher is uh, accepting his mistake also. Now he is saying that what happens in our life, it is not the result of one person's activities. It is not the result of one person's mm, thinking or doing something. It is the result of all the happenings, all the persons' efforts collectively in our life. Who are around us, all people make effort of something which happens in our life. So the teacher is making him understand, friends, you should not feel guilty that you are alone guilty for this thing which is happening in our life. We all are guilty for this. Your parents were not anxious enough. Now he's telling that your parents are also responsible, your teachers are also responsible, and you are also responsible. Your parents were not anxious enough. They were not anxious enough. They were not worried. They were not thinking that study is so much important for the children. So they were not anxious enough to send you, to have you learn. They preferred to put you to work on the farm or at the mills. They were bothered to send you to the work to earn money as to have a little more money. They preferred to learn more money, and they were not bothered to send you to the school. And I have been to blame also. Now see the honesty of the person. He is blaming himself also. He's accepting his mistake also. Here have I not often sent you to water my plants? He was accepting that he also had sent you to water my plants and to water my flowers instead of learning your lessons. And when I wanted to go for fishing, and when he wanted to go for fishing, he gave them holiday on that day. Okay, so he was also accepting. He would send them to his home to water the plants, and he would declare a holiday and go for fishing. Now, then from one thing to another, now he was talking about one thing to another. Mr. Hamel went on to talk of the French language, saying that it was the most beautiful language in the world. Now he came to the importance of language. Now he was explaining to the students the importance of French language. Here, it seems that he is so much and he is a great patriot. He loves his country, his own mother tongue very much, and he thinks that their mother tongue, French, is so much beautiful and so much logical language in this world. The clearest, the most logical, and we must guard it among us and never forget it. Because he tells the reason why we should guard our own mother tongue amongst us. That because when people are enslaved. When people are enslaved, as long as they hold fast to their, when people hold fast to their language, when people have command over their language, it is as if they had the key to their slavery. It is as they had key to their prison. Now here he is using the simile. He is comparing the situation when a person is having a command over language. It means he is having a key to his slavery and he is having the key to their prison. So he is very much patriotic person. He loves his country, he loves his language, and he makes this thing understand, he makes this thing clear to the children too. And he wanted that all his knowledge he should give in this last lesson to the So, children, let us talk here about the real life experiences. I want to ask you one thing from you. Have you ever experienced such feeling as friends is feeling and villagers are feeling in the story? Of course, you all must have experienced this feeling in your life one or the another time. Everybody faces this situation in his or her life when he feels what he feels about any person or any situation or anything in our life, and something happens in our life and we change our attitude about that person, about that thing, or about that incident. Children, we make a wall of prejudices, we make a wall of opinions around us, and we think only according to our thinking. We think only according to our perceptions. We see the things, incidents of our life only according to our perception. But we never know what is there in the bag of future. We never know what will happen in the future, and uh, what course of change there will be tomorrow in our life. So, with people, with things, earlier we think bad or cranky and this and that. We suddenly changed our attitude towards those people, towards those incidents, and we suddenly uh, have come to understood about the reason of these things, why these things are happening in our life, and why these people are behaving, why these people were behaving like that, why we suddenly understood the reason of the behavior of those people towards us. As friends has understood that why the teacher was so much strict, why the teacher was scolding him, why the teacher was uh, you know focusing on their study. Now he understood, and all the villagers have understood the reason of of that strictness of the teacher now. So children, we have to be very wide in our perceptions, uh, which things that are happening in our life we should be very much we should think very much widely about things, and we should not make prejudices, we should not make opinions according to our perception only. And here I'm recalling a very very much beautiful song which is very much related to this situation, is that न जाने क्यों होता है ये जिंदगी के साथ अचानक ये मन किसी को होने के बाद तेरी मुस्कियाँ छोटी छोटी सी बात न जाने क्यों. I know I'm not having so much melodious voice, but I am recalling this song and I can't resist myself from singing this song. So I hope you must have enjoyed this song, children.